Hey, people.
Hello.
Hey, Jamie, Eric, what's up?
Erik says hi. Hi, Mama. Hi, everybody.
Hi, sweetie. We're going to talk about some interesting stuff here. Here's my little cheat sheet. Now, tell me about love. Is it some form of energy? What is love?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
You sound very different this time.
Well, I moved back into a chair because my back is hurting. But that shouldn't affect the audio.
He said, let's get comfortable then and talk about love.
Just get cozy in my love chair.
There you go. It's back.
Oh, good.
Okay. He says that love is a type of energetic quality. It is the basis of all emotions, and pretty much this is what makes up our human souls. Emotions.
So we are love?
Naturally, yes. We're vibrations of emotions.
And so how can things like jealousy and resentment, things like that, be a part of love?
He says that's just like taking water and making tea.
What?
Water being the basis of all the drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Look at all the variety out there.
Mm-hmm.
Love is the basis of emotions, and look at all the variety out there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's that's all it is. It's just changing the vibrational quality of it, but it's based in an emotion quality, which is love.
Okay. But still, I don't understand how hatred can be a facet of love.
He goes, oh, you didn't like my drink metaphor?
Oh, well, I don't understand it. I like it, but I don't understand it totally. Give me
He goes, look at beer and wine.
Okay.
He goes, that's a much different quality than water. Look at what it's doing to you.
Well, can you give me an example in real life? Like, hey, this guy hates his roommate. Now, how is that related to him, to love?
Well, the emotion is hate, right? Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it's a form of jealousy. It's a deep form, because normally when we're repulsed by something, it's something that we don't understand, that we need to embrace or accept it more. Mm-hmm. Usually if we're hating something, we're claiming some kind of responsibility over it, and that we can't fix it, make it better, and so therefore we have kind of a blockage of emotional energy, and we see that as a hate. Okay. But if we really had that roommate, and we knew that roommate, we weren't responsible for that roommate. Let's say if the roommate was dirty and we couldn't get him to clean up, then we would have the right to get a maid to come in and push everything into the room. If the roommate was angry and aggressive to you, you had every right to learn how to communicate better or to move out. Mm-hmm. So hatred comes when you stay in a place and you're trying to make something happen that doesn't need to.
Okay.
Going against natural choices. He said, so how can you not understand that hate is a variation of love? All of the emotions in the book are variations of love, Mom.
So in that case, where does the love for the roommate fit in?
Well, hell, if you're not leaving and the situation is so bad. No, that doesn't make sense, though. I'm taking your mom's side and I'm arguing. He's saying, well, you're seeing love, Mom, as an intimate thing. Mm-hmm. How are you viewing it? An acceptance.
Is that what it is? I'm thinking about caring, feeling compassion, understanding.
Okay, well, that's compassion then, Mom. That's not love. Mm-hmm. Compassion is a different variation of love.
Okay, well, what is love then?
Love is acceptance for everything. So you wouldn't have hate if you had love. You wouldn't be irritated by the messiness or by the anger or by the conversation.
Okay, so if I hate my roommate because he's a big slob, then, how can I love him? How can I accept him? Maybe I can't accept him, so that means that there's no love involved.
He has his head up.
I know.
Falling back at it. He goes like, really? He goes, we're getting in this loop about roommate and laundry. He goes, this is crazy. He goes, if you have somebody in your life and you love them, but they're doing something that you don't like, you're still loving them, but you are sacrificing yourself by being around something that you don't like. So you have to fucking get up and move or change it.
Well,
You're only responsible for you. You can't make them change.
Well, maybe you don't love them. Maybe there's only hate. So how does love fit in when you don't love them? I mean, how could it be related to hate if you don't even love them?
Then why would you even be there in the first place, Mom? That doesn't make sense. You have to use a different example.
You need to share the rent. I don't know. You give me a different example. All right. Well, jealousy of a friend, for example. Do you have to love that friend in order for jealousy to even come into the picture?
No, you don't have to love the person for jealousy to come into the picture, but jealousy is a variation of love.
I just don't see how it can be, related to love. I just don't get it. So
it's like having a flashlight, Mom.
Uh-huh.
And the flashlight, you turn it on. That's our example of love.
Okay.
But then you put a red gel in front of it, and it becomes red light.
Okay.
You put a green gel in front of it, becomes green light. He said, but the light has to be there for the emotion to be pronounced.
Oh, I see.
That light is the love. That's the basis of all the emotions.
Okay. So is it the highest form of energy? Unconditional love? Is it, the highest vibrational frequency?
He said, yeah, that unconditional love thing. Yeah.
Okay. And so, okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just like that unconditional love thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are unconditional love. It's not separate from us. We are unconditional.
Correct.
And what are we here to realize that, to remember it, to
experience it? Yes. To any degree? Yes.
All right. So we're here to remember that we are love. I think
that's the purpose of being human.
Ah.
He's doing some woo, I don't know what he's doing.
And to remember how to love. I guess both of those things.
Yes, and sometimes we have to remember how to love by going through all the jealousy, the anger, all the other emotions to get to the light. We have to get all the gels away from the flashlight, so we just have a normal white light flashlight.
So that's why we have that horrible contrast that makes the human experience so difficult sometimes.
He's putting his fist up. Yeah.
No, like in order to learn about the facet of love, forgiveness, sometimes you have to be hurt by something.
Yes. Yes.
That makes sense. All right, now off to the last topic for this session. Fear and intuition. Some people, I have a hard time distinguishing the two. Like, oh my God, I have a flight tomorrow and, oh, maybe maybe the plane is going to crash. You have a lot of fear. Maybe you want to change your tickets, etc. How can you tell if it's intuition, like you're picking up on something real, versus just fear with no grounds?
He said, well, fear is imagination based. Mm-hmm. It's not coming from anywhere. Mm-hmm. It's the lack of not knowing. And if you don't know something, then you create something to fill it in. So that's imagination. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we're wired a little bit to the negative. Mm-hmm. Is that funny? I guess sometimes means more often than never, mm-hmm. as being human. So you'll think about the worst case scenario. Oh, if the plane goes down, I'll probably end up sitting next to a kid. He goes on and on and on about kind of flight woes. Mm-hmm. And he says, when you do that and your head is going through the loop, he said, then that's fear. That's imagination. You're creating it. You're staying focused on it. You're building on it, mm-hmm. telling stories about it. You're doing it. You'll know when you're self-creating. But then, let's say you're doing the dishes. You're not even thinking about your flight. You're not showing any concern, worry, happiness, excitement, nothing. The flight is not in your scope. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, you get this image, and the flight is rough. You don't need to be on it. Whether it's poor timing, or you're going to come across across somebody better in the next flight,
Mm-hmm.
or there's all kinds of things that can happen in these cases. You're going to lose all your luggage, so taking the latter flight, you'll end up having everything. And he says, and you get that image, just boom, really click, very clear. It's not muddy. You're not sitting there going, I wonder what that means.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, it's not that. Because your brain will do some, I wanted him to reword it. Your brain will do some flashes of images, but it would be triggered by thoughts that you had previously.
Ah.
Just like if you're, period, doesn't need to be an example, right?
Okay.
He's just repeating the same thing.
All right.
Thinking about something, and then you're building on it, and it's creating it, and so you're focused on it. And he said when it's coming into your head, when you're not thinking about it, and it's really clear, you can then ask yourself, was that me?
Mm.
And if you get a yes, or you feel like it's a yes, then yeah, you're creating it. And he goes, then you just have to chalk it up to that. But if it's a no, and you're really confused about why you got the picture, like it's just bizarre, right? That's intuitive. Because remember, like we talked, well, not everybody was there. He said, like we talked about in Denver, that your capability for thought is much like having an antenna.
Mm.
And that antenna can pick up energetic vibrations, other people's thoughts, mass consciousness, that kind of a thing.
Mm.
And you can pick up on it and translate it. But the issue is we believe that all the thoughts that we possess, all the thoughts that we have belong to us. And that's not always the case. And this is why intuition is kind of so easy to come to us this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the antenna picks it up, it reads it, drops it into our head, and we're like, oh, wow, I'm going to lose all my luggage on this flight. It'd be much better for me to take the later flight. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
And so you make it so, and the flight turns out wonderful, and you get all your luggage.
I just saw this like ball of red cross the right side of the screen. What was that? Was that you, Eric? It's like a bright red ball. Maybe I only saw it. We'll see on the recording. You guys look for it. Anything else on intuition, fear?
Where would that be?
Right. Yes, right there. No, the other, your left arm. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so one last question. Intuition, where does it come from? Your higher soul, your guides, your guardian angels, all the above?
He's clicking all of the above.
Okay.
Higher consciousness, that's your antenna.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from angels, guides, family members, deceased, mass consciousness, all that is.
Okay.
That pretty much sums it up. Everyone.
Oh, everything. All right, guys. Thank you so much for this. Jamie, thank you, Eric, for your words of wisdom. I love you so much.
He's blowing kisses at you. He loves you too.
So everybody, thank you for joining us in this wonderful YouTube about love, fear, and intuition. And I really recommend you check out Jamie's site, subscribe to her newsletter so you keep up with all this cool stuff she has going on. Her website is withloveandlight.com, www.withloveandlight.com. Like and subscribe, pretty please. Or I'll send Eric to haunt you.
Oh my gosh, and he will, so be aware.
He'll hide your keys.
In fact, on Eric's website now, you can click on the button that says Tell Your Story, and you can share the prank that Erik has done with you on the site. It's incredible. Go to channelingerik.com. That's spelled with a K.
Yeah, and it's really cool, some of the stories we're getting. He's just does some crazy stuff. So you can check those out by going to the, About Erik, I think it is, at the top menu. It drops down to Erik Encounters. Check it out. Cool stories.
Yes. Bye. He says, thank you, I love you, bye.
Bye. Love y'all both. Bye.
Bye.